Over recent seasons, Saturday Night Live, SNL, has increasingly drawn comparisons to The Carol Burnett Show, raising questions about whether the landmark sketch series is repeating the same patterns it once sought to disrupt. Originally launched in 1975 as a more irreverent, raw alternative to TV variety predecessors, SNL once sharply differentiated itself from the polished, variety show style that Carol Burnett's program epitomized. In its early years, SNL creator Lorne Michaels reportedly used the phrase, "to Carol Burnett," as a pejorative inside the writer's room, dismissing bits he felt were too broad, sentimental, or conventional. He told a profile that Carol Burnett was Broadway, we were rock and roll. Their sketches were about alcoholism, divorce, life in the suburbs, middle-aged stuff. I wanted us writing about our stuff. But today's critics argue that SNL's current output increasingly mirrors that earlier era's emphasis on broad, variety-style sketches rather than the edgy, live-at-the-moment satire it once championed. One analysis in The Guardian notes that SNL has drawn criticism for its comedic consistency and cultural impact, pointing to sketches that feel safe, rehearsed, and comfortable rather than razor-sharp or subversive. The implication, when a show built to push boundaries begins to lean into more benign, universal variety writing, the old Carol Burnett sensibility creeps in. In other words, the once rebellious SNL feels more like the established variety format it once resisted. Moreover, the transition may reflect structural shifts, pressures of live television, reliance on guest hosts and musical acts, and the challenge of remaining topical in an increasingly fragmented cultural landscape. Cast and writers' changes, internal dynamics, and platform expectations all play a role. Critics point out that as SNL evolves, the risk of reverting to familiar formulas, costume sketches, character bits, celebrity impressions, grows greater. That does not mean SNL has lost all of its identity or impact, but the concern is this. When the show's humor becomes broader, when the sketches feel less about commentary and more about entertainment, the comparison to The Carol Burnett Show gains traction. As one long-standing commentary put it, what was so wrong with The Carol Burnett Show? SNL became exactly what it set out to rebel against. The irony, the show that defined live, irreverent sketch comedy now risks becoming the polished variety show benchmark it once opposed. For viewers and critics alike, the question now isn't simply whether SNL can stay relevant, but whether it can hold on to the edge that differentiated it in the first place, rather than drifting into comfortable territory. The echoes of Burnett's influence are louder than ever, and whether they mark homage or erosion remains the ongoing debate.